What was supposed to be a normal school year suddenly took a wrong turn for Camden Davis when the 12-year-old boy's behavior started to change for the worse. His concerned mother did not know what to do. She can't help but notice that something is wrong with her son, and she is set to find out what is really going on. Determined to know what might be the cause of her son's sudden transition, she tried talking to school personnel, but her efforts fell in vain as the other party turned their deaf ears. Then she formed a resolve to take matters into her own hands. To say that what she discovered was shocking would be an understatement. Melissa Davis lives in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and is a married mother to 2 lovely boys. Her career involves many horses as therapy animals, and she loves her job to bits, but as much as her job keeps her happy, she still has other familial duties. Aside from the time she spends on her job, she is mostly kept preoccupied by Camden, her 12-year-old son, who has special needs. She is fiercely protective of him, being the devoted mother that she is. With that exact same reason, she knew that she had to do something when her son started showing signs of affliction. Much to the family's amazement, Camden was accepted to Greater Baton Rouge Hope Academy, a school that boasts of its promotion of inclusion, encouragement, positive relationships, and recognition of student accomplishment. Melissa was overwhelmed with joy. She felt that they were exceptionally lucky. Nevertheless, she counted on the school to provide her son the supportive environment he needs to advance in his academics. Her joy, however, was cut short when she found out that what she was expecting and hoping for are actually the exact opposite of what happened in reality. Now enrolled in such an esteemed institution, Camden was believed to be bound for a great school year. But then, Melissa can't help but notice severe changes in Camden's behavior when it's just a few months into the school year. He started showing extreme signs of distress. All of a sudden, Camden became more aggressive. His anxiety heightened, and he even started to wet his bed again, which is something that he hadn't done since he was 3 years old. Melissa was so worried. She asked him what was wrong, but poor Camden can't put it into words. Even so, she was not going to let it go. Before the big switch, Camden seemed to be doing just fine. It was suspicious that he would suddenly act this way after being exposed to a new school environment, and so Melissa already knows where to start looking for answers. She approached Hope Academy with the hopes of knowing about her situation. Melissa initially tried to talk to the principal and other school officials about Camden, asking questions about where he was seated in the classroom, among other things. However, they were not cooperative at all. Still, Melissa is not one to back down. It seems like Melissa is not going to hear anything from Camden, and the school is not of any help either. She knew that had to do something out of the box, and so she bought a tape recorder and planted it in Camden's backpack one day before he left school. Not having much choice left, she clung to the hopes that the device would record anything out of the ordinary. Given that she can't get anything from Camden nor the school, this was the only way that Melissa ceased to help ease her worries, even though it was quite daring and extreme. She was itching to hear what the tape would chance to record until Camden came back from school. After hours of not being able to sit still from anticipation, Melissa finally sees Camden coming home from school. Without a second to waste, she immediately took the recorder from Camden's backpack and rewound it to the very start. She knew that the recording would not exclusively record what she wants to hear alone, but she still listened to hours of the essential audio. Ignoring the possibility of not finding anything interesting in the tape, she listened attentively through it all, even when the beginning was nothing more than normal proceedings of an ordinary school day. But when she chanced upon a horrifying conversation, she found out that there was nothing ordinary about it at all. Melissa did not know what to expect to hear from the recording, but she surely did not expect something like this. As the recording played on, she can hear Camden's teacher scolding him for not writing something he was assigned, saying, "You're just writing the word. What's hard about that?" While this could be a normal occurrence at a regular school, children with special needs do not respond well to admonitions. The teacher also had an arrogant tone, and she even mocked Camden's struggles at articulating. Though this has terribly shocked Melissa, she still continued listening, unknowing of the fact that the worst was yet to come. Everything Melissa heard made her deeply upset, that she just wanted to cry and scream or do everything that she could because what those people did was so bad. "To think that I had sent my son there every day and what had happened before that I don't know about," she shared. Once again, Melissa went back to approach the school officials, but now with the prejudicial evidence on her palm. She thought that what she had would do something for her case, but just like the first time, her concerns were not dealt with. Melissa had gone this far, and she is more determined than ever to make something happen. Melissa can't let her beloved son stay in the terrible situation any longer. And so, she immediately pulled Camden out of the Hope Academy. Still, her plans do not just end there. Having all the other children with special needs in mind, she did not want to leave the issue hanging in the air. She can't imagine that the other children like her son will be left exposed to such unprofessional and awful educators. If she can't get the school's attention by merely talking to them, then she would have to do something big. She posted the audio clip on her Facebook wall. Her plan definitely worked. Melissa's past actions were in vain, but not this one. Her Facebook post containing the audio evidence went viral, and it was enough to force the school to take necessary actions. The school's principal, Linda Stone, released a statement. She said that one of the teachers in question had been fired, while the other one would be sent away after the current semester ends. Not just that, but she also asked the Davis family to have a meeting with her and other school officials to discuss the issue. But their attempts were a little too late, for Melissa already had other ideas in mind. Melissa knows that this issue has grown already, and the meeting that the principal calls for is no ordinary one, so she decided to go down the legal route. She hired the services of attorney Charlotte McGee and is prepared to file a complaint with the Department of Education, as she has told Board Panda no child should have to have this happen to them. "I brought this to light because I wanted my son to be the last kid that this happened to at this school," she added. The school is now under too much pressure that they ended up firing the second teacher right away. On the other hand, netizens who saw Melissa's post shared their opinions, unintentionally revealing an alarming trend. As Melissa's Facebook post went viral, it did not only gain a lot of attention, it also provided Melissa virtual support from people who unfortunately shared the same experience that she and her son went through. There are others who praised her for the smart action she took and for the advocacy she promoted for children with special needs. Some even share their own stories of their children being abused by educators. Melissa did not expect that they would get that much support. Support and encouragement came pouring from all over the world, and it touched Melissa so much that she opened a P.O. box for people who wanted to send Camden letters and gifts. Meanwhile, she was trying to get her son's education back on track. Trying to correct her past mistake of entrusting Camden to Hope Academy, Melissa transferred her son to a different school. This time, she made sure that the educators were qualified and professional, unlike the old ones. Camden's new teacher, particularly, minored in psychology and even had a degree in special education and applied behavior analysis. Camden's future is now set on a better track, but the trauma of his former teacher's bullying has not yet eased totally. Even so, Melissa has high hopes that with the passing of time and giving constant love and support, Camden can return to his sweet and loving self. But Melissa is not alone in the fight against bullying. A mom from Oregon had to deal with another kind of bullying. Her son's birthday party went totally wrong, so mom did this. To celebrate his 9th birthday party, Malone Lane got up nice and early in the morning to prepare. His excitement was on a completely different level when he was decorating his house for the party. On the other hand, because no one RSVP'd, his parents were anxious, but they hoped that everything would go as per Malone's plan. Malone's mother started to show signs of nervousness when the time comes for his friends to come to the party. She had to bear witness to the disappointment on the face of Malone when he was asking, "Where is everyone?" His 9th birthday party was very special to him, and one he would love to remember for the rest of his life, but it looked like it was a night to forget for him. Malone was someone who always remained calm even in a house which was filled with chaotic babies and adolescents. He had qualities of being an animal lover to such an extent that he chose to be a vegetarian and was understanding and sympathetic of everyone. He always found happiness in making everyone smile. Since Malone was homeschooled, he lacked the company of many friends. He found joy in playing with just his siblings. For a specific amount of time, Malone was fine with birthdays being just a family event. Kristen, his mother, knew that there would be a time that it won't remain just a family event, and Malone would like to have his friends take part in them. On his 8th birthday party, Malone expressed his wish of having more friends involved in the event, after celebrating it as just a family-based event throughout his life. So, Kirsten tried to invite some family friends for his next celebration event, which was held at Chuck E. Cheese. Unfortunately, to Malone's disappointment, no one showed up, and it was again a family-only event. Malone looked around and observed how much everyone else was enjoying. That day, Kirsten assured him that next year, his 9th birthday would be different because he'd be attending public school. He was overjoyed and replied to her, "Yay, I can't wait." Soon enough, it was that time of the year again for Malone as October rolled around again. His birthday was fast approaching, and he was still new in town and getting used to attending public school. His 9th birthday, which was planned to be with his friends, had a theme based on his favorite book series, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Kirsten wanted to make this birthday the best one yet for her baby boy. She ordered custom Diary of a Wimpy Kid birthday party invitations, even being on a tight budget. Malone loved the invitations and excitedly distributed them to his friends from class and one friend from Taekwondo. He could hardly wait. Malone kept track of the days in his first birthday party with his newly made friends. Since Kirsten had 6 kids, she couldn't afford an expensive party. Still, she did her best to make that day a special one for her boy. In her efforts to make it a special day, she bought decorations, searched for all the theme games for the kids to play, and even bought a Diary of a Wimpy Kid cake topper. Since no one responded to the birthday invitation of her son, she was more anxious than excited while making the arrangements. So it was the birthday morning. Malone was so excited that he got up a couple of hours before the morning even started. He was so enthusiastic that he helped his mom with all of the preparations. From setting up the games, blowing balloons, and hanging streamers, he was all up for it. Hours before everyone was scheduled to arrive, Malone cleaned his room, had a bath, and got his outfit ready for the party. The excitement of the best party ever could have been seen on his smiling face. It was meant to be the best of his life so far. He expressed his excitement to his mother by saying, "This is the happiest day of my life, Mom. I can't wait until my friends get here." So after all the wait, it was time for the biggest party of his life, and Malone was filled with energy and passion. On the other hand, Kirsten was trying her best to hide the jitter she was having. Since everyone was running late, she hoped that they were just finding it too difficult to find the house. Since they were new to the neighborhood, Kirsten didn't have any contact information of the other parents. But she made sure that their address, phone number, and everything was listed correctly on the invitations. As the cars came up the street, Malone was anxiously watching outside and hoped for those cars to be his friends. Kirsten shared her concerns and anxiety with her husband the night before the birthday and thought about whether they should cancel the event or not. Her husband assured her that everyone would show up because who doesn't want to attend a birthday party? Some friends of Malone also confirmed that they would come to the event. Kirsten made a decision not to cancel the party at the last moment because there was a possibility of the kids showing up even if the party was postponed. The hope was there because she planned the birthday party of her daughter. Some girls showed up even after not responding to the invitation. She wished for the same to happen to her son's birthday party as well. Every car that came down the street past the house would make Malone nervous and disappointed. Everyone realized that they have to face the worst-case scenario when Malone's dad got home from picking up the pizza for the party and no one had shown up. Kirsten was heartbroken by seeing her beloved son sitting disappointed and broken, surrounded by all the arrangements she made for him, including the decoration, games, and food. She lost control and broke down in tears after running to the bathroom. She couldn't stop her tears while her husband and father made their best effort to calm and adore Malone in the other room. But she refused to give up and wiped the tears and went back to make another attempt of making this day a memorable one for her child. She was willing to do anything to distract Malone from what just happened. In an attempt to salvage what had just happened, the whole family decided to enjoy themselves by playing all the games, eating all the pizza, and singing happy birthday songs over the Diary of a Wimpy Kid cake. After a long time, Malone was seen smiling when he was opening his birthday presents. Still in the back of her mind, Kirsten knew that Malone would never forget his 9th birthday. To distract Malone from his disappointing day, Kirsten's dad suggested that they should take him to the bowling alley. Malone seemed happy with the idea and made a special plan for school tomorrow. Kirsten and her husband, being the parents of their child who had faced such a disappointing event, broke down after the kids went to sleep. Kirsten had very rarely seen her husband breaking down, but even he couldn't stop his tears from the thought that his child had to face such a day and how shattered he must be. Filled with anger and frustration because of what her son had to face without deserving any of it, Kirsten decides to express her feelings in her blog. She highlighted how her son's birthday party was miserably wrecked. Then, she left a note to all the parents pleading, "Parents, please RSVP." After taking her frustration out, she logged off, but she was not aware that her blog would take a life of its own. It's the next morning, and Malone woke up for school. Kirsten was still anxious because she thought he would hate to face the kids, who he thought were his friends, but Malone surprised his mother. She couldn't keep the smile off her face after seeing her son that morning. Malone gathered all the goodie bags from last night, which he prepared for his so-called friends, and had a smile on his face. He still wanted to give them out to his friends, even after their no-show. As Malone has always been a peacekeeper, he decided to move on and forgive his peers, even after they made him feel terrible just a few hours earlier. Without Kirsten's knowledge, her blog became an overnight sensation. She just meant to take her frustration out because of the events which unfolded last week, but the blog caught the attention of some readers, which she never thought of. The response she got from the blog was entirely positive. People showed sympathy for the unfortunate situation she had to face as a parent. And many other parents shared their similar stories from their birthday parties. Everyone expressed their love and support for Malone by wishing him happy birthday. The response was very astounding. Although, with all the positivity coming towards Malone, that was not all he was getting. Because of the blog post, Malone started getting birthday cards and gifts from all around the globe for his 9th birthday. The number of gifts really exceeded any expectations he could have ever had. He got more gifts than he could wish for, both his birthday and Christmas combined. An electric guitar was one of his gifts. Even the media outlets participated in sending gifts to Malone, and they even covered his story. The little boy was overwhelmed and couldn't be any happier by the response he got and the stories that everyone shared of being stood up on their birthdays. It proved that he was not alone. Malone was not aware of the gift he was about to receive that would change his life forever and make him a celebrity in the neighborhood. After everyone contributed to make Malone's 9th birthday a memorable one, the Oregon Fire Department, once hearing about Malone's story, decided to do their part in making his birthday even more special. They invited Malone and his family to a private tour of the fire station. The Oregon Fire Department made the whole family feel special by letting them wear the fireman's gear and gave them a ride of the town on top of their fire truck. Malone enjoyed his ride and he waved to the audience. Malone felt like this is the best day of his life, but there was something even more exciting planned for him. Since the news of Malone's missed birthday party was circulating everywhere, it grabbed the attention of someone who was very close to Malone, Jeff Kinney, author of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So the special birthday surprise he got was a personalized birthday wish Jeff Kinney and Kirsten planned for him. Jeff's work was very close to Malone, and the best thing that had ever happened to him was this FaceTime with Jeff. Malone was thrilled to have a conversation with Jeff, and he even showed him around his house, and they exchanged their thoughts about Wimpy Kid. Again, that was not all that Jeff had in store for Malone. The best present Malone got for his birthday was a pre-released copy of Jeff Kinney's upcoming book. Malone was sworn to secrecy, and Jeff asked him to enjoy the book only at his home. Since he got the best gift ever from his childhood hero, he felt honored and kept the book as safe as it could be. Malone was so inspired by FaceTiming Jeff and reading his book in advance that he decided to start a comic book of his own. Even after all of it, Jeff wanted to do one more thing for Malone and his family. Jeff thought that his talking to Malone over the phone and sending him a copy of his upcoming book was not enough, so he decided to meet the whole family in person. The whole family was offered a once-in-a-lifetime dinner in Seattle with Malone's hero. It doesn't end there. They also got reserved front-row seats of Jeff's new book release. Jeff even called Malone on stage after announcing his new book of Wimpy Kid series. He asked Malone to draw his comic book character named Jack and asked him to express his feelings after getting all the love and surprises he got after his birthday. Malone remained as sweet as always. Even with all the fame he got, his sweetness leads other kids to take notice and like him. Even as Kirsten's blog gained so much popularity, the parents of the children who were invited to the party didn't make any effort to describe the reason for their absence of RSVP. But there was one mother who realized how she affected Malone's birthday party. She came up and presented a sincere apology. She also explained that there was no specific reason why she didn't respond to the invite. Kirsten acknowledged the bravery and honesty of the mother, and without any second thought, forgave and forgot. The mother also wanted the children to be friends, so she invited Malone to her home for a play date. Malone had great admiration for the strange people who showed their support and love when he felt broken and all alone. The whole thing led to Malone finding confidence in himself, and he believed that he could be a good friend. Malone had a great time at his first play date, and the children planned to do it all over again at Malone's house the next time around. After seeing the grateful behavior of the classmate's mother, Kirsten was very fond of her, and a friendship between them started. Since Malone got a tremendous amount of love from others, he was looking forward to giving the love back to others as well. The huge chunk of the audience that Kirsten was able to reach with her blog was never expected by her. Similarly, she was not expecting the number of gifts and cards Malone received on his birthday. Malone, like the angel of a person he was, wanted to return the love which he received on his birthday. When he came to know about the sad incidents of the other people on their birthdays, he wanted to make sure that no one should have such a sad and disturbing experience on their special day. He decided to give away a lot of his gifts and toys to charity a couple of months after his birthday at Christmas. Kirsten also received an amazing response because of her son's actions. While the majority of the responses were highly positive on Kirsten's blog, there was some criticism as well. Several unknown people accused her of using her son's disappointing birthday party to increase views on her blog. The criticism led to Kirsten believing that she might have mishandled the situation created by her son's traumatic birthday party. Apart from all the love the whole family got after the event, they were now a point of discussion of many. That made Kirsten question herself about posting that blog publicly. After the blog post got so popular, Kirsten received plenty of good responses, and included in those responses, there was a special one. A mother decided to make sure that her daughter attends a classmate's birthday party after reading Kirsten's blog. The mother shared her story of being the only ones to attend the birthday party of a new student in the class, and how the involvement of two individuals still made the event so special for the new kid. This story eliminated all the doubts that Kirsten was starting to form in her mind regarding her decision to post the blog publicly. She also hoped to get a better response on RSVPs for her son's next birthday party. So it was that time of year again. The month was October, and Milan's 10th birthday was approaching, which made Kirsten very nervous. She still had memories of the dreadful party last year. On the contrary, Milan was motivated and wanted to make this birthday his best one ever. The question is, would he have to face disappointment again this year? Kirsten saved all the things she prepared at the last birthday party, and when she went through all of them, it reminded her of the disappointing experience of last year. It was clear in her mind that if no one will RSVP, she will cancel the party without any second thought. So when the time came, invitations were sent out, and the whole family waited for the first response. As Kirsten was feeling nervous, she asked Milan whether he was comfortable with all those decorations along with the memories of last year. But Milan showed a big heart and said the whole family was delighted to receive the response of the invites because, except for only one family who had other commitments, everyone RSVP'd yes to Milan's 10th birthday party. Milan had a completely different emotion than the last year. He felt special and loved, and he celebrated his birthday with his friends and had the time of his life.